Mark, you didn't have your creatine yet?
No, not yet. No, if I was if I was like leaner and depleted, I would have had to tell you is to hold on, and I would have had to eat. But I got a little bit of body fat on me, so I can wait an hour or so.
I don't know about that. I think
I'm
I think
still
we are
I'm
watching.
still
No,
pumped. I'm still pumped. So I'm still got the pre-workout in me. You can tell by the way how fast I talk too.
I can edit that down and slow you down. What did you train?
Back, same thing I trained last time you asked me when I did a podcast. I was out there
Okay,
too.
and
I'm
we're
like,
also
he's gonna ask me, and I'm like, I'm training back again. He's gonna think that's all, and it is probably my strong point too.
you knew I was going to ask you. Dylan, is his audio delayed on your end as well?
Lagging Mark. Lagging Mark
Every
is what I
time,
call him.
Every time. All right, here we are. I fixed it last time. I can probably fix it again. So we're just gonna go.
But I think yours was off.
What? How dare
on
you?
On our podcast because you fixed mine. I think yours was slightly off.
No, mine was perfect.
Yours was perfect, but I mean, maybe somebody in the comment section below said it was a little off.
My editor. Guy's a dick.
Fire him. I added a
He
little
is fired.
character. I added a little character in my video. I fired him there a couple of times.
No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut his pay.
That'll teach him. That'll teach him.
Funny
for
story.
sure.
He's not making shit anyway.
As long as it doesn't
That's
affect mine. Did you send me that, by the way? Thank you. Oh, you told me not to mention anything in front of Dylan.
your royalties, your royalty check.
Sorry,
you
man.
probably have
Check's
an
in the mail.
and you have
Just
two
edit it
shillings.
out. Just edit it out. Oh no, he already heard. Never mind.
No. Since yours is lagging, I can cut it back. We're good.
I can't tell when he's about to say something or not. Like
I
when he's
know.
hesitating.
I know. It's tripping me out a little bit. I don't know which way to go with him now. Do I ask him
Mark,
intense?
I don't think I've ever told you. I can't believe I've never brought this up. Mark, have you guys ever seen Dawn of the Dead, the remake from 2004? I think it's a Rob Zombie film.
No.
Not the original from 78, from 2004 or 5. You look like the guy across the mall in the building. His
Me?
name's like Andy. You look just like Andy.
Or Kenson.
No,
you.
Mark.
Maximus.
Maximus, yes.
Maximus.
You look just like Andy from Dawn of the Dead. Everyone will have to.
I don't believe it.
Everyone will have to look it up. But they're just in the mall, right? And they're zombies. And across the store across the street, there's a gun shop. And you, Maximus, you own all the guns.
Oh, well, I like that.
Hopefully this doesn't get you.
Marksman.
Marx Max Marx.
You guys, this is literally
Tilt it down a little bit.
Marksman.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, he does. I could see
yes.
that.
That's literally you.
Part a little bit
I just looked it up too. It does. You're right.
Yes, Andy from Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 remake.
That's not that bad.
No.
Well, Mark, you also did. Hold on. Yeah. Mark, you've also done wrestling. So if anything ever happens with YouTube, you could go into movies and be a stunt double. Now you're sending me royalty checks.
No, an ex-wrestler doesn't make a good stunt man.
Oh, come on.
They're too sore. They're too sore. And they try to turn it into a do you ever watch like a Hulk Hogan movie when he's in movies? Like any like real wrestlers, they try to get into acting and they act like
only when he was in Rocky.
Yeah, well, that was a little bit different.
I've seen Andre the Giant in a few movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they I don't know if they can do it. Stuntman's a fine art. They can fall down stairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At one time I wanted to delve into that type of thing.
That's hard work. I love seeing those guys.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And if you
can
be
do
lucky enough to
often.
look like somebody, like if this guy became the next Morgan Freeman, or I could be his stunt double.
Spitting image.
Yes. I'm a little nicer looking.
I'd agree.
See, See, now you're going to end up going after it. And all this time that you're on the podcast, you'll be like, oh, no, 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 they'd make terrible stuff. The next thing you know, Mark's in the credits of a fucking movie, and I'm not getting my royalty check for the idea. That's what's going to
Oh,
end up happening.
my shoulder would be too sore falling down.
Oh, yeah, laying it out. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's funny. I can
believe
lift
you.
weights and my shoulder stays fine. But
It's
if
funny how that is,
I
eh?
fell down, or actually if I do any manual labor, like I used to work for a living, but raking or anything like that, shoveling, it actually hurts my shoulder worse than lifting weights.
Yep. That's common. That's common. Some daily activities, you may not be sore when you're actually doing them. You may not feel an
No, it's
injury,
not till
but when you
after.
go and actually, yeah, sometimes you don't feel it all unless you're actually specifically training for that muscle group, or like you said, vice versa. Shoveling hurts. Doing shoulder presses, doing pull ups or anything like that, especially some of the weighted chin ups that you do, good to go, right? It's funny how that works. Body mechanics.
I'm off the
Yes.
weighted chins though.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I figured this point in my life it was effective at one point, but at this I'm not saying I'm old, but I beat up my body pretty good. So I think at this stage I'm gonna stick with the body weight pull-ups. Just see how many I can do. But I used to love doing the weighted ones. I'd have a couple of chains around my neck and then a couple of weights on me because I don't have like the fancy straps. I can't do the big 45s.
Man, I have a weighted vest now.
I seen that.
I saw that too.
Yes. Yes. Kristen came home one day. She went out shopping and she came home and she was like, I got something for you. And I was like, body armor? And she was like, no, it's a weighted vest. I was like, no fucking way.
It looks like a vest.
It does. It does. It's just jet black. It looks like what I used to wear when I was a correctional officer, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, holy shit, this is kind of cool. But then she was like, no, no, it's a weighted vest. But it's different than most because most of them have like square rectangular pockets. But this one, it actually has like 10 like almost inch round like cylinders that would actually
so you can
go
adjust
so what
it.
I have
little Rolos,
yeah.
like a thing of Rolos, the chocolate.
like a thing of like so in between sets, if I want to do a drop set, I can just pull up the Rolos, right? And then keep going, and then I get the sugar to keep going too. Man, everything's coming up Millhouse.
I used to there used to be some dude in the gym running on the treadmill with a weighted vest, and I said, "Man, that guy's such a dumbass. I'd hate to be him." Well, I'd be like, "What a nerd!"
To each their own.
Best.
To each their own.
It's the
what a nerd.
Man,
nerd.
I just no, man. I always wanted a weighted vest, and then Kristen came home. I was like, "This is sick." I had to buy round stock though, so I could actually put it in the vest because I mean that's the only downside to it was there was no common weights that I could put in it, right? But I mean, I just ran down the road. There's a metal fabrication shop down the road that I get stuff off of, so I just bought that.
I use my riches from YouTube.
Rebar.
Okay, so Dylan's doing about 2 pound
2 pounds.
sets. All pennies.
Yeah, exactly. Shillings, 2 shillings I can barely rub together.
Some people wear those vests because they do like army training and they have to jog with the guns and everything.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Just covering from a man that Dylan's making fun of and calling him a nerd. He's not a nerd. He's
Henson stolen valor.
Hey,
you think you're cool with your vest?
Dylan, come on down anytime, man. I will train you under the fucking table. Come on down, man.
No, bro.
Come on.
Anytime. I don't know, man. Dylan can talk pretty tough.
yeah. Talk is cheap. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Because I can train pretty fucking tough.
The
I train hard, man. I do.
The real tough guys never talk about how tough they are.
No, they don't. They don't know.
Because I never.
It's like guys that
I am, and I'm the toughest.
It's like guys that it's like guys that talk about bodybuilding that don't compete, right?
Yeah, it's like guys that train in weighted vests. what are you training for, bro?
Life, man. Life, all right?
That's true.
Life.
I was about to ask you if you've ever done this with your small children, because I know you have at least one. So I don't know if you like sling them over your back and like.
Good for push-ups.
Actually,
you did push-ups.
Funny enough,
there with your kid, didn't you?
Yes. And funny enough, we actually just before I did the podcast, we rode on a walk. I walked around the block. And I took my boy with me. He's 7 years old now. He's about 70 pounds. And we got about 3/4 through the walk. And then he was like, Dad, my legs are so tired. And I was like, this is the gym rat. Okay. Here it is right here. I was like, this is an opportunity to do more. And I was like, buddy, I'll piggyback you the whole way home. And it was about 750 meters or so. I looked at it on my Google Maps and I was like, I'll piggyback you home, dude. So it was like wearing 70 pounds on my back for 750 meters walking home. And I was like, I'm getting a more effective workout right now. Right?
Good for the legs.
Right?
Good for the
Yes.
legs.
Legs,
Unless you're going
cardio.
downhill and then you fall.
Yeah. And that was without wearing the weighted vest. I'm not going to walk around the neighborhood wearing it. I'm not insane.
Oh, come on. I would, but I don't live next to anybody. No, I do have
maybe
I do have a few neighbors. I do have a few neighbors.
Yeah, my neighbors know who they're up against here. It's fine. Anyway, gentlemen, we have an upcoming competition here known as the Mr. Olympia, the 60th Mr. Olympia at that, is it not? It is the 60th.
It is, yeah.
It is indeed. 40 days away at this point.
61 years?
No, 60. 60 years.
Yeah, but the second Olympia, it was only a year old.
Oh yeah, like Koreans, they don't count
trickery.
They don't count their birthday as like, I don't know. It's like, because
it's like saying
like,
how many
you have 9
birthdays
months in the womb.
It's like saying how many birthdays have you had, right? I've had 44 birthdays, but I'm only 43.
Exactly, because you've had that whole year that doesn't count towards a full year.
I had my first birthday, and on my first birthday was my second birthday.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, because they don't count the day you were born as your first birthday.
It depends on how you word it. If you say, how many birthdays have you had? Or how old are you?
That makes sense.
How old is the Olympia? How many Olympias has there been?
So
they did the 50th year anniversary with the golden Sandow in 2014.
I can't believe they're not all gold already.
Well,
I don't want to talk about the Olympia anymore. That ruined it.
They're too big. They're too big. They made them too big, and Derek's and the bodybuilders are getting smaller, and the Sandows are getting bigger. So they're eventually
no, just the champions are getting shorter.
That's what I'm saying, and the Sandows are getting bigger. So eventually, they're not going to be able to hoist them up. Can Derek lift that thing?
Derek said he had to do it once. He was on the Cutler cast, and he said, I had to only do it once for the photo, and that was all he could do.
60 pounds has got to be.
That's your Mr. Olympia, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, American not hero. My Mr. Olympia. Yeah. Hashtag not my president.
Oh. He is your Mr. Olympia.
Yes, he is.
No,
he is.
Yep.
No. We're going to stop the steal on that.
Well, that could very well change this year. That could very well change this year. There's been a number of updates here that I thought were very impressive when it comes to Derek, Hadi, Andrew. I mean, Hunter, who is going to be qualified here after he comes in and destroys anybody that shows up at the Italy Pro. I don't know. This one's a hard one to call. I really am not sure which way this Olympia is going to go. When I saw the updates from Derek lately, I have been more encouraged because it seems like he's going to a level of suffering that he hasn't been to in previous years. Because, man, I've said, hold on, Dylan, hold on a second. Just hold on. Okay?
Sorry.
He was about to chime in.
In what seems like my defense of Derek at this point. No. In fairness, I've always seen Derek train heavy. I've always seen Derek train hard for the Olympia, but I've never heard him come out and say, I really feel like I'm starting to suffer. And I think that might be a key indicator as to his level of conditioning that he may show up with this year. I don't know exactly. But then at the other side of it, you look at the updates from Hadi, and he looks absolutely insane right now. There is no denying it. He looks like he could step on stage tomorrow and destroy everybody. So it's a very, very tough call for me right now. I'm not 100% decided. I do have a little bit of an idea. But Mark, what do you think? Dylan, you got to sit and think about this for a second.
Do you think that Hadi's delts could affect him? I've heard people talking about them lately.
Well, like when he tries to walk through a door? Yeah.
No, well,
he doesn't get to turn sideways. Yeah.
I think my hero Bob Ciccarello even said that was flat out said that was why he didn't win 2021. Another shout out to Bob Ciccarello.
Big fans of Bob.
Mark
I almost spit my drink out.
Did you guys
Oh,
see it?
don't we all?
I made a video there a couple of days ago, and I made his head right big.
I saw that, and some people didn't catch on the comments.
I never even mentioned it.
Yeah, they were like, "What's wrong with Bob's dome? Why is it so huge?"
It was an afterthought. I already recorded it, and I'm like, I can't just let Bob away with being in my video.
I agree. He
I'm gonna
needs
make
to
his
be
head big.
punished.
Certainly not without it poking a bit of fun, that's for
But
sure.
no, Derek, I seen him training his back there. He's tense. Got a lot of more striations in the delts by the looks of it. Did the one-on-one with Andrew Jack. Both had 7 plates. Did you guys see that? They were doing the T-bar rows.
That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
Did you see Nick Walker's little response to that?
Yes, I did.
Way better technique. 7 plates. Just to show them who's boss.
I will say he was much slower and I would say more controlled, but I actually think of the 3, if we're going to compare these 3 in particular, I was the most impressed with Andrews. I think he had a longer range of motion, especially when it came to the coming up to the top. I think that he was arching, or I think he was driving his elbows back just that little bit more as compared to Nick. I
His
think he had a
arms are so
fuller stretch
long.
at the. Well, they are absolutely, but I was most impressed by Andrews. But aside from Mr. Olympia in the gym, Dylan, please enlighten me. Why will Derek not be Mr. Olympia this year?
Okay, I think he will be, unfortunately, but
Oh.
I'm thinking like this. I'm thinking like this. Okay. Does 2024 Arnold Classic Hottie beat 2023 Mr. Olympia Derek Lunsford? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Can Derek improve his shape much more? I doubt it. It was already great. It was already great and it was very close. Can he improve his back much more? He could, but he's already has the best back in the world. It doesn't matter up to a point. Like he's going to win the rear double always. I think Hottie will always have a slight advantage in the rear lat spread. So there are very minimal things Derek can do. I think he will be better, but it's just like in enough areas that matter. We're just going to get 2023, but just slightly bigger. And I think as long as 2024 Arnold Classic Hottie is there, it doesn't. I will 100% take that version over slightly bigger 2023 Derek. That is my thought process.
Do you think that Derek needs to improve his posing significantly as compared to the 2023
He
Olympia?
needs to stop riding the horse. I don't know what else he can do though, because it's weird because the quads are wide, but not really. It's so odd. I don't think having like this insanely wide upper body helps his case because no matter how wide the quads are, it's always going to look slightly out of place. But I'm not like they look wide, but not really in some shots.
Like
I
Jay
can't really
Cutler.
explain it.
Like Jay Cutler.
Yeah,
He has massive quads, but you see him in like 2009, it's like he goes down like that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and the waist counteracts it, ruins the illusion. I mean, it's still great quads, but like they look a bit off on the frame.
Okay. Do you think the vacuum hurts Derek overall?
No, I don't. Not enough. Like in that abs and thighs, that's so ridiculous. Like Mark, I'm reacting to your champions video, right? And I saw that you put the photo in there of Derek with the crunch down abs, and then it's just like Hottie didn't have
And it
Hottie.
was from the finals, by the way. Somebody
Yes,
said that he
yes.
didn't hit them in the
Hottie
finals, and he did
Hottie
actually.
nor Samson had a shot that week. Like that's bad. It's bad. Like I get it. Derek has really high highs, but I'll take Hottie's more complete across the board. That's my own philosophy, though. I think in terms of bodybuilding,
Easy.
completeness and more well-rounded people should always do better.
And it's an
Okay.
absent
Okay.
thigh. It's an absent thigh.
Exactly. Exactly.
If it's close, and then Derek pulls a vacuum and the other guy can, it's like, well,
Yeah.
but not. You can't use it as a tool, a judging tool.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. All fair to say that. Now you mentioned Samson though. Do you think that Samson will be as significantly improved on stage as he appears to be, at least from the back, in his updates? Dylan, we'll start with you again.
I do think he'll be a little more improved. I don't think honestly, the thing that worries me the most about Samson is the stomach. I was not impressed with it at all at the Arnold Ohio this year. Arnold UK was a bit better. Still, there was some traces of like some roundness, but not eating definitely helped that. But I think if he can bring that package, and I think the back is something that's always improved at every single show, it has improved. So I do think it will improve. Um, but I think Samson is just perennial top three because like the guys below him lean into one area too much. You have Nick Walker, who doesn't have the shape. You have Andrew Jack, that only has the shape. Samson, Hottie, and Derek are all bringing enough of all of these things. So I still think it's going to be the top three.
Mark, what do you think? Samson, is he going to be in the top three?
He traditionally does bring a good package. I hate to backtrack a little bit, but to rebuttal what Dylan said about Derek, I think that if he improves his midsection, I think his whole physique will look better. And I agree. I think if Hattie brought the 2024 Arnold Classic to the Olympia last year, I think he would have won. But if he brings that package now that he lost, can he beat Derek? That's
Yeah.
a different question.
Yeah, the things have changed. Things have definitely changed.
Yeah. If they went in with that package, sure, he would have won. But it's just the midsection. He looks soft. His gut looked soft.
Yeah.
If he fixes that, we'll find out right away as soon as he walks out.
I have a hot take. He's not going to.
Oh,
Okay.
he prays really hard.
Oh no, brother Derek, please.
Well, he's doing a lot of praying. That we know for sure. Every second thing he's got on the story, which is fine. I mean, that's fine, right? Go for it, right? Every second thing he has on the story. If that's what's getting him through, man, more power to him. Literally more, like all the power to him. All the power to him. I really don't know when it comes to Samson anyway. I don't know if we're going to see substantial improvements from Samson. I think that there's a lot of change that's taken place in Samson's camp, which has been talked about, 10-fold. Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're bad changes. I'm not saying that they're bad changes at all. But there have been uncertainties, I would say,
Yeah.
Although they do have. Okay. I heard them talking about it on the Dennis James podcast, where Dennis and Milos and Chris were all saying that at this point, Samson and Marlinka have the formula from Milos in order to implement something to bring in a proper package. I was like, well, these things aren't cut and paste. If Samson is 2 pounds and I don't got to tell these guys that either, obviously. I mean, for obvious reasons here. But I do think that aside from that, the changes that have happened with Samson from being home and then Dubai, and then back home, and now this person from Merrick Health that is watching him from a distance. Who is this person from Merrick Health? I have no idea who this person is,
He's a sponsor.
I have no idea. And he's a sponsor, so he has another invested interest. You're right, Dylan. You're absolutely right. So who is this person? What does he know about protocols at the Olympia level? I have no idea. Maybe he's done it, but I don't know, right? I actually should look into that. But as of right now, for the knowledge that I do have, and of course predictions will change from now until the Olympia, but from what I have right now, I think that Samson has a certain amount of uncertainty in his camp. I think that his wife has apparently dialed him in for a couple of shows, and it looks like she's done very well. And I do have confidence in her ability to, bring him in because she's there every day. She's watching him. She's doing the diet. We've seen her get in shape herself when it comes to whatever show it was. She obviously has some knowledge. Great. But when it comes to the protocols, I just don't know. I actually don't, as of right now, have Samson in my top 3. I have Samson.
Who is?
Really?
Who is?
Somebody's going to be
Nexzilla. Oh,
Andrew
no,
Jack.
not one of those. Not one of those.
What do you mean? No. What do you mean one of those?
I put out a couple
Andrew
of
Jack's going to beat them all.
Bro, maybe if Andrew Jack grows it back.
Which he did.
He did. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Somewhat.
And
looks good. He looks good.
The back is 2 poses. 2 poses. You talked about Derek being so dominating in the back double. Well, Andrew dominates the front double. Absolutely no question. I think absolutely abs and thigh. I think that Andrew is more dominant in the front double than Derek is in the back double. I mean, you've got some competition in the back double. Hottie does have a good back
Yeah.
double. It's not Derek is definitely
Well,
superior.
Samson kind of gives him a run for his money in the front double if his guts in check, somewhat.
But Andrew
he
has
doesn't.
three.
No, he doesn't.
Andrew has
But
three
no way.
dominating poses.
Nobody else is
compared to
close to
Derek's
Derek.
two.
Well, Nick's close to Derek in the rear double. If he's
Sometimes.
on.
Yes,
If
he
he's
is.
on.
Yes, he is. And Martin Fitzwater compared very well with him. Now, I don't have Martin in the top 5, but Martin compared very well with Nick when it comes to that back double.
Fart and Mitzwater?
Hey, that's
Martin
my
Mitzwater.
dad.
Oh, geez, sorry, man.
And I'm sure he's a
Come
great
on.
guy, but he's not going to be in the top 5.
Didn't he get arrested? Didn't he get arrested or something?
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. But yeah, bogus.
Why did you suppress it because he's your dad and you didn't want to go through that trauma
Exactly.
again in your head from your childhood?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I went
okay.
to the media companies and told them to kill this story.
Right. Yeah.
Got a lot of
No,
balls.
he's too valuable to the organization now. They're gonna keep him on the straight and narrow.
I think you're right. Martin's not top 5, but I have him like probably top 8, which is a lot.
Okay.
It's his first
Yeah, I mean it
Olympia.
is.
His first Olympia. There's going to be jitters for these first Olympias.
I want to ask you guys about Brandon Curry. He's just such an anomaly for me because it's just like what are we? We don't know his physique. 2022, he managed to bring one of his smallest versions at the Arnold, and then later at the Olympia, one of his biggest versions, which I hated. I hated that actually. And then in 2022
Ramy.
Mr. Olympia. Yeah, you know what? I could have beat
did
Big
beat
Ram.
the Olympia champion. But he was chasing Ramy for years, right? Since 2022.
He honestly,
Sure.
Mark, I'm doing that video. Big Ramy may be like 5th in my video. Like
he placed 4th, right? Or no,
No,
he did get
in your
No,
video,
that was
he
at
was
the
like
Arnold.
2nd.
He got 5th at the Olympia though.
But
Yeah.
I'm talking about that People's Champ video that I'm doing. Like,
yeah.
Like
Oh,
just
where you're yeah.
revisiting his physique. I'm just like, what did we all see here? Was the competition that weak?
Did I have him second? I had him
Yes,
second.
you did in your video.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And I had Rolly Winkler. But if I was an actual judge, I don't know if I'd be able to give it to Winkler because his conditioning from behind wasn't as good.
I was confused on what you were doing there.
They're
Actually,
just for fun anyway.
Mhm.
When you do
Sure.
lineups, you can't do lineups because you can only have 3 guys. Because when you're the best,
Well,
you
you
should
can.
only lose a couple of points in like a group of 3. Instead of if you put the lineup of say Dorian Yates against the whole lineup in the front double, he would have lost so many points in that first pose. So you got to judge the groups. Just gets impossible.
But anyway, back to Brandon. It's like I really like that 2022 Arnold package, even though I think William Bonac beat him. It was smaller, and then like the 2023 version was like huge, way too big. And then the 2022 Olympia version was way too big, and then the 2023 Olympia version wasn't a fair shake.
Yeah,
but it's just like it still was enough to beat Andrew. So
Andrew was kind of off.
Yeah, but
compared to him now, especially
Brandon's legs sucked even more than they usually do, and his back is gone. Like it's not what it used to be.
Jack was soft.
That's the thing.
Hamstrings too, though.
See, but that's the thing about Brandon Curry for me. The thing is, the year is going to come where Brandon is going to significantly drop off due to his age, and that's just the fact of the matter. Yep. Is it going to be this year? I don't know exactly because last year was not a fair shake for Brandon because he was sick before the Olympia, so he didn't show up at his best. He showed up and he looked pretty good, but was it really his best? I have no idea. And you don't see anything from the guy, but we haven't so far anyway, leading up to the Olympia.
Oh, I've seen him
so
train.
Just some working out.
Have you seen that, bro?
Doing some pull-ups there.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach Mr. Olympia how to train here.
Hey,
he was doing a bit of swinging.
No, he does. He talked about his training. But yeah, that's true. So I don't relate. I just think it's fascinating how like genetics work and all that. But he was on the Fuad Abiad podcast. I remember even Fuad, who is like a very like get in, get her done type of person. Rip it and grip it kind of person. And like Brandon, he was talking about on like a leg press, for example, he goes up, drops it out of the bottom, catches it, and then does the rep up.
Curry?
And I was like, bro, what? You are 40 years old. I couldn't imagine doing that now, and I'm 21. That's crazy. That is unheard of. I have to go like I'm like a grandpa, like crossing the street when it comes to leg press because my knees are so bad.
Sounds like a sissy
Okay.
squat.
Well, they named those after me.
Sissy squat machine. You ever try them?
Not
They
a
look like
machine.
they can hurt the knees if you had bad knees.
Not a machine.
Well, not a machine, but they have this thing attached to the ground at the gym. You can put your
Oh,
feet in.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
those. I saw someone literally rupture some of their quad tendons on TikTok.
That's what I mean. They look like they're bad. If you have any questions about your flexibility or anything
No,
like
you
that,
definitely should. I saw Breon doing it
stay
one
away
time,
from
and I
those.
thought it was like I was like, bro, someone has to warn him about this.
I like doing them. I do them on my bench. I I like put it on a slant like that, and I lock my leg extensions. You just put a lock on them, and you can do them that way.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Maybe you should send these tips to Brandon. We can bring those legs up. I don't, I don't
Hey,
like you
my legs
said,
are worse than
Kinson.
his, so
Well, I think Kinson. I
Your
think
form is better though.
yeah,
you're
but that
right. It's
doesn't
like,
matter. Proof's in the
does
pudding.
he does he
Proof's in
drop
the
out?
pudding.
You're right.
Does he drop out this year? You know, basically, it's like I think
No.
we're all holding our
Oh, you
breath.
mean out of placings?
Yeah, yeah. I guess I should be more specific, but
What do you call dropout? 6?
I say outside the top 5 at
Yeah,
least.
I think once you're a Mr. Olympia, anything outside of fifth or sixth is, that's a big drop.
4th is respectable.
Yeah, I would agree.
Fourth is it's acceptable, it's respectable for a former Olympia champion. A lot of people, I put a video out there. Which one was it? It was a few videos ago. Or sorry, I shouldn't say. I'm gonna preface that it wasn't a lot of people. It was one person in my comment section where I made a comment about. It was just the one about Derek, and I do believe this. If you really want to solidify yourself as a true Olympia champion, winning one, yeah, sure, you're Mr. Olympia. I'm not questioning that, but really solidifying yourself, two championships. That for me is showing a true Olympia champion. And somebody was like, "Well, what about Brandon? Is he not a true champion?" I was like, "No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that."
Sure,
But the following year, this is what I'm getting at. I'm not taking away from anybody that wins at Olympia, obviously, but I really feel that solidifying yourself as not a one-off kind of guy. And I actually said that about William Bonac, where he wanted to go, or anybody that goes and wants to compete in multiple shows throughout the year, even though you won one. I shouldn't say anybody, but for Bonac in particular, after he won the M Pro, he wanted to go on to the next show because so many people were like, "Well, I don't know, you were the true victor." Well,
Some people
have a
did say
seat.
that.
Yeah,
A
that
lot of
was me.
people. That's why he wanted to go and compete. Now he didn't end up winning it,
No,
but he does look to be at his best right now. Bonac's kind of an interesting take too. What we can get to Bonac, but I think that one of the next guys in line should be Nick Walker. I mean, that's got to be a guy in the conversation for that top
Last.
5. Last as in 5th from the top 5? Yeah, last. Come on. Dylan, what would the
3rd.
Thank you.
No,
Read
I
Thank
between
you,
the
Mark.
read between
Thank
the
you.
lines.
5th. And you know who's in my 4th right now, as of right now?
You know what?
Hunter Labrada.
Hunter Labrada.
No. No,
We'll see.
Mark, tell me why you think Nick will be 3rd. Tell me why tell me why.
He has to be 3rd. He has to be. If he doesn't beat Samson, then he's gonna hang his little tiny posing trunks up, or he might as well.
Damn.
He's not going to do that.
Damn. Bro, if you're not 3rd, you should just hang it up, pack it in, and go home.
You might as well.
If you're not 1st, you're last, Ricky Bobby. Yeah.
His mentality, he's the champion.
That's true.
He's going in to win.
It would really suck for him to not be out of the top 3.
He
Like,
won't
out of
quit.
anyone's
Obviously,
position,
he won't quit. He'll wipe himself off, and
it'd be a tough loss for him, though, just
he'll
in
keep
his
going.
shoes.
Jay Cutler thinks that he will be Mr. Olympia someday. Or he thinks he has the potential to be Mr. Olympia someday.
yeah. Well, all of the guys, if you make it to the top 5, you have potential to be Mr. Olympia. Realistically. Hey, if Brandon Curry can win a title.
I thought Brandon Curry's Olympia version was actually very good, Mark.
listen. There was no Kai Green. There was no Phil Heath. There was no Sean Roden. And
He didn't even
Rolly
beat,
Winkler pooped the bed that year.
he didn't even beat Hottie Chupin that year, in my opinion. As much as
Well,
I
there-
like
there
Brandon's
was-
2019
there
version,
was even people saying that Hattie should have won.
but it was his first time out, and he's Iranian.
Hey, I like Curry.
I like them both.
He's an Olympia champion,
Yeah.
but not a strong Olympia champion.
That's where the 2 comes in for me.
Well,
True,
I say 4.
Four?
Well, not too
Yeah.
many have won 2. Only 2 bodybuilders, I think, have won 2 Olympias.
And
Pretty
they're all
sure.
poop.
No, they're not all poop.
Franco and
No. Yeah.
Ramy.
And
Ramrod, Franco and Ramrod. Is there anybody else that won 2? That we're not
And
thinking
imagine-
of?
yes.
Yes, the first guy, Larry
The,
Scott, won
the
2.
Yeah, Larry Scott.
No, Frank Zane. Frank Zane won.
No, he won 3.
He won 3.
Oh, he won 3. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that's a good physique.
Larry Scott he won 2. Larry, Franco, and Ramrod.
Ramrod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. None of which are competing this year, especially Ramy. He's not competing this year.
Yeah,
There's no
people think
way.
he's gonna compete? People think he's competing. He's not competing.
Ramy will
again?
step on stage. No,
I
don't
remember
know.
he did express interest in the Arnold. He said if not the Olympia, he'd look at the Arnold. That makes sense.
No.
But I don't
No.
think so.
Bodybuilders have been doing that since the 80s. They don't. I think it's bad for their stock if their fans think, oh, they're never going to compete again. So it's like, don't.
Yeah, he had
tell
a
them
supplement
not
company to start.
compete. Just hint that you're going to. Look at Kai Green. He stayed relevant for years. People thought he was going to compete. And
He solely
Kai
thrived
Gre-
off of
no.
Nick Strength and Powers hype. Guys, is Kai Green gonna compete? Oh my god! And that video would get made
a
every
lot
year.
of people were. I used to make videos about him too, and then I gave up. I gave up
Thank
after a few years.
God. Thank God I was not making videos in that time, because I would have been I would have ended up with so many strikes on my something. It wouldn't have been good. The whole Kai Green thing of, am I going to compete? Maybe I'm going to compete 3-4 years in a row where it was like a maybe. He lost me as a fan. I couldn't take it anymore, man. You know,
Why wouldn't he?
Maybe
He
I'll
should have.
compete this year. Sitting down with Dan Solomon talking about potentially competing and never following through, despite still being in good enough shape to go and do it. He lost me. He lost me.
How about you ran about Ramy? How about you ran about Ramy skipping the Pittsburgh Pro twice, skipping the Olympia? Actually, he was DOA because he did skip Pittsburgh again.
Yeah, and look at where he
DOA,
placed
dead
at the
on
Olympia.
arrival?
Yes. They were. I've talked to enough people that I know, like, it's a hearsay thing. If you're not doing certain things happen to you or don't happen to you. And him skipping twice, he wasn't getting inside the top 5.
No, he wasn't. Absolutely not. The Arnold, different story. But when it comes to the Olympia, you're skipping out on the president of the IFBB's guest posing. He's giving you an invitation. You know what you say? Yup, I'll be there. But you actually show up. That's the thing. Yeah, I'll be there. You got to show up, especially being Mr. Like, one of the years he was Mr. Olympia that he didn't show up.
Yeah,
Isn't that right?
yeah. That's why he lost
The
his
first
title.
one.
That's why he lost his Sandow.
Yeah, I mean,
Just-
it certainly didn't help that his physique turned.
Ugh.
It was just bad to
Man,
begin
frustrating.
with. Yeah.
Maybe he just didn't go because he
Oh,
looked
sure.
like crap.
That could. I mean,
Doesn't
that's
matter.
Yeah,
I know, but these guys' egos.
Show up on stage
no.
in a t-shirt, man. You're still showing up.
Yeah, he could
You
do
know?
just like a quad shake and stomp, and I think the fans would be okay with it.
Yeah, full
Even
of
though I
holes.
think his quads are disgusting, I think it would have been okay.
Yeah, full of holes.
Quads were a bit. They got to be a bit much. I think so. Yeah, I don't agree.
Do you remember them at the Arnold where like they were like blurring together, like at the kneecap? Like I don't know, man.
It was a very strange. It was very strange looking. It really was. Size was there, but I looked at them and I was like, I don't understand. Like, how do you critique these versus the other competitors? I don't know how you would do a comparison there. I don't know.
I knock him down in my comparisons.
Oh, you
I
have
do not
to.
like.
Yeah.
I do not like.
Ramy's
I think
like-
honestly he peaked too early. By the time he was winning his Olympias, I thought he was done, and I did not like him.
he lost the shape. He lost his shape. But I
2015
mean,
Arnold
you
Brazil.
train
more
that hard,
conditioning.
that heavy, your muscles, they break down. The arms are the first to go always. Is your elbows. Can't take that much.
I think we
punishment.
noticed it first in his forearms and receding lats there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So
Oh
he
yeah,
won't be at the
the
Olympia.
backs, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what was he gonna do really anyway? Unfortunately, especially
Yeah,
in
I
this
mean,
year. I think I spoke too soon. I think he maybe could have placed like fifth last year, but like in this lineup, there's just no way. There's just no way.
no.
Would he
I
be?
think as of right now, I'd probably round out that fifth place spot somewhere for I'd say Hunter.
Yeah,
I'd say
Yeah.
Hunter
Hunter's
looks
in
crazy.
around there
Yeah.
somewhere.
I think this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I think
does. He
this is
looks
his year.
nuts, man.
I can't wait to see him actually at the flex, or not the flex, just the
Pro
Italy
Muscle Italy.
Pro Muscle Italy,
The
That's what it's called.
other Italy show.
the other Italy show. That's right.
And then apparently this UK Pro is actually just the Europa Pro. Did you know that?
No. They changed
Yes,
the name
UK
of
is
it, kind
not
of thing.
Europa.
it's
That's in Europe. Europe.
it is no. Hold on. Let me look. It
It's in
is
Spain.
literally
The Europa Pro's in Spain.
not this time. It's called the
What?
UK. It's called like the UK Pro on the website, but
Oh.
it
Really?
is it's like it's by the NPC European if I'm not mistaken. So which is the people that do the Euro, and it's going to have the same aesthetic, the blue and like the gold.
Blue lights. It's hard to see the guys.
Yeah, imagine that. Why would you light it? Some of the choices are hilarious. But
Who's promoting that show?
oh man, I'll
You know
tell
who the
I'll
promoter
tell-
is?
It's
I'll
probably
tell-
Bob Ciccarello going around with the lights.
It
Come
is.
on, we're gonna install these
Uh-oh.
lights. No, Bob.
Kinson,
Yes, we're gonna
Kinson,
do
it
it.
is Two Bros Pro.
Oh, not the two pros, man.
I
Are
thought they
they
were
no
like
good?
barred from doing events, and I thought it was just one bro now.
Oh, maybe in the US they are, but
Are they
I
the
guess
ones
they can
with
still
all
get
the
away with it
laser
in the
lights?
UK.
And
They
No,
were the
that was
one
the
where
one where
there was one with
um
really flashing bad. I remember Sanj made a video about it.
no, it's the one where Michael DeBull got the shit kicked out of him by security guards.
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
And then they
nonsense.
had,
Every time I see him, I think of that.
I
Yeah,
know
me
now.
too. Yeah.
Now we
Every
can't have him
time.
win. Now
Every
we can't have
time
him
he
win the
does
Olympia.
flexes, I'm like, oh man, those guys beat him up. He must be thinking about that right now.
The two bros pro.
And now I'm pretty sure it is just one bro pro because like the brother got dropped.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna change the
It's only a
name.
matter of time until somebody drops the next one, I think.
Well,
Man.
they're not very good promoters, but I don't think the UK has very many.
No, they have a terrible, terrible reputation. Terrible. Well, I guess you should say at this point, singular.
Because
Yeah,
they were going to do
good
the Arnold UK, and then like it like fell through, and like Arnold like had to pick it up himself or something like that.
Yeah,
or-
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
what it
didn't think. I thought they dropped the Arnold UK a couple of years back, and then they brought it back.
I think the Arnold didn't want to be associated with that, but yeah, someone dropped somebody because it was because bros couldn't handle it.
that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. It's a huge undertaking, the Arnold Classic. And if you're going to screw it up, Arnold is not going to let you touch a show. That's just how it's going to
His
go.
name, yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, Mark, when's your invitational? Are you not doing it this year?
Yeah, huh?
Sorry, sorry.
How insulting.
Yeah,
Of course it's
I
happening.
put it ahead to October.
Oh, okay.
I have already received quite a few little, videos,
I'm sure you have.
and
You know who should sponsor this?
they all have the dark background.
Yes. Have you guys had these? These are so good.
I don't
Sparkling
drink
ice, Starburst.
I don't drink
They
that
should-
nonsense.
They should sponsor me.
Is that Pepto Bismol?
That's it. I just chug that. I love it.
Yeah, carbonated Pepto Bismol though. It's the new version.
It's still
tried
just
that.
as
Much more
thick as
palatable.
Pepto Bismol, though. It's just as
Yeah.
thick, like a thick medicine, but it's still carbonated.
No, I've got
Pepperminty.
BCAAs and 5 grams of creatine. This is actually like, to be honest with you, I think this will be a total of 15 grams of creatine I had today. Like I'm front loading when I don't need to.
It doesn't matter. Not gonna hurt you.
Nope, it's not going to hurt you. You're right about that. I'll keep it going. Okay, who are we missing here when it comes to the potential top 5? We're going to get into more when it comes to 6th to 10th here, I think, in a future episode. But is there anybody that we're missing that could be in that top 5?
Mentioned Andrew.
Did we touch
Hunter.
on Nick enough? I think we did.
Nick.
I think I'm just forgetting. I think Andrew. Do you guys really believe that
Beirut.
bag of milk is
Beirut.
gonna be top 5?
Yes, I think he's going to be top 3.
I think he's
Mark
gonna
had
be
a
top
winning
5 too.
last year.
Actually, no, I
Marx
don't think
Max Muscle had Nick Walker winning the Olympia in 2023.
That's true.
more.
That's a true statement. And hey,
Actually,
he
Yes, he
didn't
did.
lose. He didn't
And
lose, did he? Nobody beat him.
Also a true statement.
Booyah. And
He's
he
right.
could have won. He could have won an Olympia title that night, by the way.
I fully
the
agree with
wheelchair
that.
Olympia. He could have won.
Oh,
he could have rolled right in there. No, he could have.
Are you kidding me? He can't elongate his stomach. He has to sit down in a chair. It's not happening.
Listen, I'm
Oh,
going to tell you
man.
something. He has a wide waist, and at the New York, he had a little bit of a pot belly. That's about it. I know.
The update pictures that Nick dropped that were a week before the Olympia were very, very encouraging. Now, that does not matter. He did not take the stage, but from the update pictures,
He did.
one could infer that Nick
He was
could
gonna
have won. Yeah.
Maybe.
This year, I think Hottie's made up too much ground unless Nick is drastically improved from New York. I don't know though. Nick is going to be, I would say, in top 5. He has to be in the top 5. He has to.
Yeah, like 5th.
No, fifth is the worst spot to get. They give that to the guys that are. It's like a big FU from the IFBB.
Yeah, it's going to be Nick Walker doesn't improve his waist enough, and then they put him in the 5th place spot.
There's lists of guys that have been placed
just like how they
that have been
embarrassed him. They embarrassed him at the New York Pro by him getting almost overtaken by someone who's never been at the Olympia.
Oh, come on! Just because he's your dad.
That was such no. I look Martin aside.
Yeah, that's a biased opinion.
He looks like a bag of white milk.
Martin aside,
Yeah.
anyone getting that close to Nick Walker it's such a warning shot from the IFBB. They're like, "Yo, get your shit together," because like that was not what we liked.
We'll see what Hunter does. He might do the same thing. Somebody might push him the same way.
Who is that?
Not if LeBron and Nutrition's a sponsor.
Rubio.
One, he's not showing up.
Get the fuck out of
2,
here.
yeah. 2, he sucks.
Did he announce that he's not competing? Did he announce that he's not competing?
Not yet. Not yet.
Did you see the list? Is it out?
I hope he comes in there with his.
I don't think it's out yet.
I'm gonna refresh.
I hope he comes in there and just beats Hunter Labrada. And
yeah,
well,
that's
he's
really
not gonna.
Rich.
Yeah,
beats Hunter on what?
Happen.
The glutes?
Bodybuilding. Quads.
Bodybuilding.
Biceps.
No. He's what is it? Cultivating mass, but that's about it. He's not a bodybuilder.
Yes, he is.
I mean, I'm not saying that he's not, but what I am saying is he has been dropping the ball massively lately, and he doesn't have many opportunities in order to pick it back up. That I will say with extreme conviction. He skipped 2 Arnold Classics and he skipped the New York Pro, second and third biggest shows in bodybuilding. You can't just go and do that when you've got such momentum behind you. Think about it. You finish right behind Michael Krizo and Samson Dauda and compare quite well with them. And then you go and pull that and then show up in Dubai the way that you do. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence.
He doesn't.
Well, clearly not. Clearly he doesn't, as far as I'm concerned. He just doesn't care enough. He's not doing enough. I think that he just needs to suffer, and I don't think that he's willing to. I wish Chris Cormier would just come out on the Dennis podcast and just say he's not willing to suffer. I wish he would just come out and say it, because I think that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, Chris, the real deal. Please.
Hey. He's the greatest of all time.
He is one of the greats. There's no question. Nah, he's one of the.
He's the belly dancer. He just.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like his belly dancing.
He's a belly dancer.
Yeah, no, I could have done without that. But one of the greatest physiques to ever take a bodybuilding stage. Yeah, he was in the top 5 of the 1999 Mystery Olympia. He's absolutely one of the best to ever step on stage. No question.
He got third a couple of times.
You're right. One point that I do want to make when it comes to this year's Olympia in the top 5. I think that there's really 6 guys that are really contending for that top 5. So you've got Derek, Hottie, Andrew, Samson, Nick, and I'm going to say Hunter as well. One of those guys are not going to make it into the top 5. And in my mind right now, of course, subject to change, I've got Derek definitely up there in 1 or 2. Hottie in 1 or 2. Then I've got Andrew in 3rd. I do. I have Andrew in 3rd place. After that, go home, Dylan. After that, 4th, 5th, and 6th, I want to put Nick in 4th, and I want to put Hunter in 5th, and I want to put Samson in 6th, and that's a tough one to do right now because when you say it out loud, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So then what do? You take Nick and you bump him down to 5th, and then you put Hunter in 6th. That makes a little bit more sense to me.
That does make a
little bit more sense to me. That's where I kind of have it right now.
Sounded like
Nick,
some Samson hating there.
Yeah, Nick got beat by Samson at the Arnold. How do you juxtapose that? Why does Nick beat Samson this time around in your mind?
Well, you see, that was 2023. Like I said, Samson has had a lot of uncertainty, and I think that Nick is getting back to where he has more certainty and more stability in his camp. He's not in Vegas anymore. He went back to Florida. He is in front of Matt Jansen every single day. I know what you're going to say. The raw nutrition video that they did was like 2 housewives sitting there back and forth, sitting with a therapist trying to work out their problems, having huge breakthroughs. It was hilarious to watch that, to be honest. I'm glad that they're in a good place, but it was sitting there and I was like, this is like an episode of Desperate Housewives or something.
Yeah, weird thing to post. Weird thing to make.
Yeah, it was like they had to put it out there in order for them to continue on. I get it. Sometimes you just got to make those videos. I've had guys like Krishan. I'm not going to say what videos, but Krishan has messaged me and be like, man, I got to make this video because I got to put it out there. What do you think? I was like, dude, if you don't put it out there, then, I mean, it's going to bother you. You got to do it, right? And nobody really cares at the end of the day. I shouldn't say that. People do care, but it's just one of those videos that you have to do, right? And they did it. That's great. But when it comes to the stability in Nick's camp, I think that he's got it. And he's actually in front of Matt Jansen right now. He's back in Florida. He's training there. Now, I guess you could say, well, he moved from Vegas to Florida and, having to do this all while in the prep and stuff like that. Am I boring you, Dylan? Am I boring you?
No.
My apologies. No, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. You know what? Go ahead.
well, when you put it like that.
But really, that's my justification as to where I think Nick will place above Samson as of right now, without seeing Nick in any kind of, because he's not posting any updates either.
I noticed that actually. That worried me a little because Nick is posting like every week, and now he's not. He shut it off like 10 weeks, which is odd. Maybe he
did a video. He, in one of his YouTube videos, he did say that was part of his strategy this year, where he's taking a different approach and specifically not posting so he can show up and just shock.
So we can all be disappointed.
Maybe he'll
post
at least so you can be disappointed. Actually, no, you won't be disappointed. You won't be surprised at all. You'll be like,
his ceiling is 3rd. Unfortunately, I don't see it getting 4th? Much better. Ceiling is 3rd.
Oh, you thought
3rd.
Well,
okay. Not my personal opinion, but
I agree that it's going to be a solid top 2. I think they're going to. It's exciting to do a tiebreaker, 1-on-1.
Olympia needs another good 2-man. When's the last time we had a good? I guess like the 2021, but that was such a then they introduced Hottie back into the mix between me and Brandon, but Hottie should have won that year regardless. But it's just like we need a good rivalry. I think these two can be it. If not, I think maybe Samson eventually moves in because they see him as fresh, young talent. Not young talent, I guess I should say, but
he was pushing 37.
I've heard like 33 to upwards to 40. I've heard both. I've not heard it from the horse's mouth though.
I just don't see Samson. I when you said that you put in Samson that far down, I kind of agree. When he was with Milos, he was getting better and better. He was. His Olympias, he was getting better and better, whether you thought he was improving or not. But is he going to continue to improve without Mr. Milos?
Yes.
Milos?
Some of the best genetics I've seen for improving.
He trains hard enough. I will say that Samson trains hard, man. Like when he goes to the gym, he's one of these guys that he has a really good balance between really good form and pushing his limits without needing a training partner either. He's not one of these slow, concentrated guys like Nick Walker, right? Which works for Nick. That's great. Samson trains hard.
He breaks machines.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I think he's doing pizza night though. I think he's having pizza night. See what I mean? You
I
know what
see
I'm
what
saying?
you mean.
I think he's sneaking out of the house
Oh
and
no,
he's
stepping
ordering
out
a
on
pizza.
Marlena.
I think he's having pizzas. I can see it
I
in his
think
eyes.
the whole wife coaching thing either really helps or really hurts. It's either like, you know, like, oh, like classic boomers hating on their wives, like, oh, she never lets me do anything, blah 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 blah. Maybe that's what he needs, or maybe it's just like, no, she's too soft on me. She can't push me to how I need to. That's why I need an actual coach. Because we've seen people get coached by their spouses or significant others both ways, and it usually doesn't work. But some people, I'm sure it could. I'm sure it absolutely could.
Time is going to tell, and the updates do look fairly impressive. And he does look like he has made improvements in certain areas,
He
well,
stalls
from the
though.
back.
He
Okay.
he will look great until like 5 weeks out, and then he doesn't change. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I think
You don't think he gets any more conditioned?
marginally.
Well, you know what they are right now is close to what they're all going to be. Nobody's going to be magically
That's ridiculous.
totally.
Dorian Yates didn't die for this lineup.
Dorian Yates was a machine. I'm going to tell you.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. That's a whole other level.
This is not what Dorian Yates fought and died for.
He's still alive. He just
Oh,
handed
yeah.
Ronnie Coleman a toke there the other
I
day.
saw that.
I saw that.
Yep, I saw that.
It was funny.
Yep, it was
And
hilarious.
it's so funny to see
Ronnie
Dorian
Coleman's a
high.
cop.
He's like, yeah, buddy.
Ronnie's a cop.
It was good, man. He's living his best life. There's no getting around it. He really is. But no, that's where I have it right now. Just to kind of summarize where my stance is on this. I think when it comes to 1 and 2, you're going to have Hottie, you're going to have Derek. Third, as of right now, I'm putting Andrew Jack to fucking third place. I'm telling you, Dylan, third. Don't roll your eyes at me. Third, okay? If you're rolling your eyes at Andrew's fucking whatever the check is for third place at the Olympia, I'm telling you right now.
I think you're mistaking the 3 for an 8
Oh,
because they look like 8s. No, I'm saying.
that's good. I agree. Honestly, you may even forgot to carry the 1 there. He's probably 18th.
Well, let's not.
Come on.
Let's not get ridiculous. That's
Mark,
speaking
Foolishness.
No, it's the fact that he never comes in. He never nails it at the Olympia.
What do you mean? He just nailed it at the Texas Pro. He
That's the
nailed it at the
Texas.
Texas Pro.
That's the Texas.
Yeah.
The Olympia, he gets nervous in his stomach.
It's cool for Andrew. Like that Texas Pro version was great, but like,
Greatly
can we see your hamstrings? Can we see some like back detail? Because I'm the first to defend his back. Like that is a tremendous back. He just needs to die down a little further, and like everyone be like, "Wow, Andrew does have a really good back."
But then he's gonna.
Well,
lose
I'll tell you. I will say one other thing. You won't see the hamstrings or glutes if the Olympia has the same lighting as it did last year.
Yeah, you're right. What are we even?
The Olympia lighting
here?
was the worst lighting of any of all the pro shows that I covered last year or watched. It was the worst lighting of any of them. It was the worst.
It's gonna be the same.
It's crazy.
We're pulling out all the stops for this one, boys. How can we make it even shittier?
I'm already blaming the lighting for Andrew not taking third. I'm already blaming it, right?
A screen. You can't see them. Big glowing screen behind them.
It just everybody looked to be at their worst, man. Honestly, I really, really hope that the lighting is much better this year. I don't know what they have to do in order to facilitate that, but my God,
just talk venues.
Talk to Fuad and let him tell you how to do proper.
He called him crazy.
What about
up there in Canada?
What about hosting?
Yeah, I know Bob doesn't.
That's not big
Bob doesn't
enough
like us Canadians.
What about like a
blah blah blah?
What about like a half decent stadium?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't they need like a theater seating?
Just you'll have to put them back towards one end of the seating and like have like an amphitheater style of seating. That's multiple shows to amphitheaters. And it's like you don't have the screen, and usually those lights are pretty good. They're all down lighting. So it's for like having a big thing that they want to market as a big thing, you kind of have to do something like that. Because like Mark said, you can't pick like a movie theater, an IMAX.
But you need a convention center in order to do the expo as well.
Expo.
Yeah. You gotta it's got to be a convention center. That's why Florida was so good, because Florida has. I drove past it when I was down there a couple of years ago. it was an awesome convention center. I
Was it
thought Kristen was
2020
here.
they
She could
did
vouch for it.
Florida? 2020.
2020
Yeah.
was in Orlando.
You see, the lighting wasn't
Wait,
bad.
you-
One thing though
Kristen,
is
Do you
is
remember
the smoke
do you remember
that
when
they
we were
blow
in
through there.
Florida? No, you're not seeing. No, they can't see it. I got a background. When we drove past that huge convention center down in Orlando, like we spent like 20 minutes driving around it. Like we literally got lost. It was huge. It was awesome. And there was no Olympia. Like that was just me being outside of the damn thing. A lot of people said that Orlando was. I don't know if I want to get into that, but I did hear a lot of competitors saying that the climate in Orlando was much better than Vegas. Like wasn't as dry kind of
The
thing.
stage production was so much better.
Way better.
The classic lighting. The classic lighting. Do you remember Bumstead, Breon, Terrence? Like you had two black guys up there.
Okay.
Terrence gets shafted all the time because he's really dark, and like we could see details on him for once. Chris Bumstead looked like the actual Sandow. It was,
and there was no like they blow smoke through and put the laser lights, and that really masks everything. Like it's very difficult to see.
I mentioned the smoke when I had Charles Griffin on the podcast, and I was like, man, the smoke just kind of ruined things. And he was like, I actually kind of liked it. He's like, you walk out, you feel like a badass, He was like, I kind of liked it.
For posing routines, I don't mind.
It's hiding,
but it was like
it's hiding the physiques.
See, it lingers. Get a fan. Get it out of there when it comes to doing the rest of it.
Bad.
Yeah,
lingers bad.
I like the 2020
spend $30 on a fan.
The Greek aesthetic that they had, the Roman aesthetic.
Me too, man. That was my favorite.
Yeah. If we're gonna have a distracting background, let's at least make it look tasteful.
Make it cool, yeah. I did a video with all the backdrops of all the Olympias.
You did. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
I should watch that too. Actually, yeah, that seems. They all used to be great. I remember like '94 had that painted mural. Like
94, 95, and I think we're all.
Like I hit my desk and moved my camera.
Same spot, I think.
Distracting, yes, but like they look good. Like I remember them.
It was in the finals. In the prejudging, it was all just a black.
Oh, sheet. You mean during the important things, they realized this is a bodybuilding show?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, but the lighting, there was no, the lighting was better back then. I don't know.
This is actually in around the time of year when you'll hear guys like, well, Dan Solomon specifically, start to talk about what they plan on doing when it comes to the production of this year's Olympia. Like he'll start doing the interview circuit. You know what? I should reach out to him. Come on the fucking podcast here. Actually, I wonder if he'd do it.
No,
Dan, I'm going to reach out to him. Yeah, he probably won't.
Saunch had him on. Saunch did an interview with him, I think.
How long ago? Did he corner him in person?
Saunch? Yeah. He's a big man. He's like 6'2".
Saunch isn't important. Hey, Dan, you're doing an interview. Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm in the army now. Hand on the shoulder.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, I'm going to say that you disrespect veterans. I'm doing
it. Has to do it now.
Yeah, he has to do it. His back's against the wall.
No, that was a good interview that Saunch did. Saunch knows that we love him. Jim Mannion?
Yeah.
JM, man.
That'd be an interesting one.
No, not
I tell you
JM
what, I'll go after Dan Solomon, and Dylan, you go after Jim Mannion, and we'll meet up somewhere in the middle.
Tyler is a 0.1% chance. Jim Mannion is 0, and not even like a statistical 0. It is 0. Bro is 82 years old or whatever. He is not getting on any podcast.
Yeah, man. And look, I wouldn't either.
No, older people like that shouldn't go. And
if I was rich and loaded and in a bodybuilding mafia, like what? I wouldn't do anything.
No, he's
does he keep?
He's another guy living his best life at this point.
Does he not?
Yeah, he goes to the Olympia.
Does he?
Yes,
no, it's the boy that holds it. It's the boy that holds the trophy now.
Oh yeah, but Jim Mannion can't hold that.
And Bob even says formerly holding the Sandow, now held by Tyler Mannion, or says something. He's always kissing up to all them guys.
Bob says a lot of things about a lot of people.
Well, he's very.
Bob says a lot of things.
My name is Bob.
He certainly speaks. He certainly speaks. Oh, Bob.
Panada.
Celsius.
Celsius.
Sean Ray.
Profit.
Mannion.
The first 5 minutes of my video is an advertisement.
It's
Dude, I get
crazy. I do watch a couple of his videos.
I'd love
It's
to see.
crazy.
I'd love to see his analytics for that for his videos, where it would just be like the first 5 minutes skipped, and then it would come back up.
I do
Marginal.
like I do like how he was like, women, you're not getting paid enough because no one cares. I was like, bro, I didn't expect Bob to say that.
Did he
But
say
was
that?
like,
Oh man,
that
he
was
gets away. He
paraphrasing.
gets away with so much.
He
Yeah.
was dissing Discord there, I noticed.
Yes, he was.
Was it? Oh yeah, yeah,
And
because he was like this
him and
dude
Sean
from
Ray.
Canada. He just made it sound like he.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wouldn't even say Matt's name in his video.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even mention the
knows
name
his
of
name.
the podcast.
He
Yes.
didn't want to give him a shout out. He still wants to diss him, but he didn't want to. And I actually didn't realize it was Muscle Discord that tagged me in that thing on Instagram. I thought it was the other guy that tagged me into it. That's why
Sean Ray?
That's why I thought I was sensing
No,
some
the
hostility.
guy that did
actually.
the actual video. I thought he tagged me in it. That's why it bothers me. I'm like, why would he tag me in that if he's not even going to mention me? But it was Discord that tagged me in it. And then I realized that after. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
You're
that's
talking
what I
about
thought.
strength addicts. Yeah.
I was going to comment back again, but I'm like, I already put one foot in the mouth, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, and also, it's just like he also didn't mention Marge, but it's just like, who is
But
strength
that's
addicts?
fine. That's fine. If he
No,
tagged
it's
me
not.
in it and then he said it, if he said it, then tagged me in it, I'm
That
like,
would be
well,
really
why would he
funny.
tag me in it?
I'm going to start tagging you in things that have nothing to do with you.
But he also left out, there's, Food All Be Odds, a huge podcasting channel.
That's true. That's
and
the biggest
Dave
bodybuilding
Massive.
podcast there is.
It's like
Dennis
it's
James,
like
the
us
Muscle and
putting out-
Fitness podcast. I mean, huge.
It's like
you
us
know?
putting a top 10 list of bodybuilders and saying, like, I don't know.
Well, I have authority on the subject.
Chris Cormier is the best of all time, and Martin Fitzwater. They're
Yeah, it would be Martin and then Nexilis left glute.
Well, I mean, Nick Strength and Power is one of the
Just the
top
left.
reviews and stuff.
There was something I was going to mention. I completely forgot. Maybe
Brain
it was
fart.
like
All right.
Andrew Jacked.
Soft hamstrings.
You guys, back to your Kenson, your top 6.
Okay, okay, Dylan. I tell you what, make your point, and then want to hear your top 6, and then we'll look at wrapping it up here. Okay.
Well, I don't know if you want me to tell you
sakes.
my top 6 because I already know what it is.
Oh no,
Bob
no! I want to hear you.
Bob
I want to hear you.
Whispered in my ear last night, and he was like, "Hey, I know what's going to go down. You don't want to be here. Here's your top 6."
Yeah.
If you want to listen to Bob, that is your funeral. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, he had Quentin Uriah winning the New York.
That was crazy.
Yes.
That was crazy. I could have told you that was never going to happen.
He's out of his
Sean
mind.
Ray agreed with him too.
Nah.
Boomers.
Yes.
But no, I don't. I think I can rehash my top 6. I it's basically like Andrew, Nick,
First,
Hunter,
yeah.
and then same top 3 from last year. And that top 2 is in any order.
Andrew, Nick, Hunter. So Andrew in
4th,
6th.
5th, and 6th.
Yeah. So what?
Okay.
What you have to repeat that?
Hunter's in 4th, or you got Andrew in 4th?
Yeah, I think Hunter and Andrew, oddly enough, will switch a place. Can switch a place. I don't see any of them placing like 5th or like that. I don't know. But basically, I see it as Nick has all the size, all that craziness. That is what bodybuilding is judged first and foremost. Hunter is now, depending on what he looks like, I am holding out to see like if the updates aren't what they're made out to be, then I'll change that. But Hunter, I think he's going to be big enough, complete enough now that he has good enough shape, certainly better than Nick Walker, that he's the most well-rounded over Andrew and Hunter and Nick. So Hunter will be 4th. Samson is like one step above that. And then Hottie and Derek have most of these boxes checked off.
So you get the same top 3 as last year.
Yes.
Foolishness.
Okay.
Kenson's
Mark?
like, write that down, write that down.
No, I got something written down here. It's fine. Andrew, I would say is probably going to be 3rd. Mark, hash out your top 6 for me. And these are everybody again. I just want to keep in mind these are going to change for all of us, but as of right now,
Yeah, I think I have a pretty set. I might change at the last minute, but I have Derek winning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You hate to hear
and
it.
then Hattie
but-
in 2nd, and in 3rd I got Walker.
Guys.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
Walker, and I have Samson. I think Samson's. If it's not Samson, it'll be Hunter.
Yeah.
I like
And
Hunter.
then-
We all agree on the top 6, I feel, at least
And
the
6
people that will be
could
in it.
be Andrew Jack, or it also could be
Say
Brendan
it.
Curry.
Oh,
Hey,
so we say
Andrew
Mark.
Jack never brings his A game to the Olympia. He hasn't
am
yet.
am
I
I the
hope
only
he
one
does.
not impressed by Andrew? Like I am. Like I
Yes,
get 3
you
shots.
are.
I
He
get
was
the
good
3
at the
shots. They're
Ring of
amazing.
Sixes.
Brother Derek has started praying to them. Actually, now they're so good. But it's just like, can you bring something else? Can you do something else? Like, and also, you both of you had Samson behind Nick in your predictions. Yes, I know Mark, you did. Kinson,
Yes.
I do right now. Yeah.
Okay. Nick was so good at the Arnold 2023, and although Samson was pretty good, he was better at the Arnold UK. But so more on that later. But Nick lost perfectly, like he got straight seconds, and Samson got a perfect score at the Arnold Classic. And I completely disagree with that decision. I said Nick Walker should have won the 2023 Arnold. Now that that's happened, it's done. It's done. Nick Walker is so much
No.
worse than he was at the Arnold.
Did you do that Superset Man challenge?
Yes, I had him
All
in
of us
second.
had Nick ahead of Samson. All of us had. Did you?
I had him in second. On paper, yes, I had him in second. I get the appeal. The judges aren't going to do that.
Man,
He wins
I
these
honestly,
mandatories. He wins these mandatories, but that stomach. Now, if it's like 2023 Arnold Classic level of stomach with his same size improvements, he could win, but it's not going to be.
yeah, he was too flat at the Arnold. He sucked in
He
a
should
little
have
too
won.
much. He lost that
He should have
fullness.
won regardless.
Absolutely.
It was the Arnold too, right? You had Arnold
that?
on the microphone saying, "I want Samson to win."
Oh, that's what did it.
He
The
probably
endorsement.
walked down to the judges. Tyler, Samson, do it.
Hey, Steve. Yeah.
But no, I don't. I just
Right.
think the thing is, like, I've lost all hope for Nick Walker simply because I had him in second in my, like, you're right. I had him in
That's
second.
too bad. That's too
That
bad.
is too bad.
But like I said, Samson beat him easily. According to the judges, easily beat him at the Arnold Classic, and we were all saying that's bullshit. And then
They
at
judged
the
the routine.
Because it
and then
was.
at
They
the New
judged the
York Pro,
routine.
and then at the New York Pro, he was always going to beat Martin Fitzwater, but they made the margin close on purpose. They're sending a signal. They're setting up a precedent. Nick Walker will not beat Samson.
Hold on, wait, okay. How do they set a precedent? How do they make it close? I mean, Martin showed up the way that he did, and Nick showed up the way that he did. How did they make it close? I don't understand what you mean.
If there was a third guy in there, it wouldn't have been quite so close on paper. So if it's just one on one, that can make it. It's like you hear these stories of Boyerko he's the best bodybuilder because he got a perfect score, and Mike Menzer got a perfect score. I'm like, if a better bodybuilder had been there, they wouldn't have got a perfect score.
So
they
what?
would have lost.
So what? Is it because nobody else showed up? Like,
kind of.
They win all
the lineup
poses.
changes things.
They're beating everybody in all the. Yes, of course it does.
But to be
nobody's
honest,
going to apply for the show. Then
it's
it
like
is what it is.
It's like titles, you know. It's like
to be
titles.
honest, though, Martin coming that close next to Nick, like, it's clear that no one in the right mind had Martin beating Nick, but they were like, guys, we can't stand for this. Let's give him a little nudge here, because if he brings us again, we're done.
He was pretty.
Is Martin top 10? Is Martin top 10 this year?
Absolutely, bro is winning the Olympia.
He's going to have a lot to deal with Beirut.
Now I know Bob is talking to you.
Beirut is not. Unfortunately for Beirut,
Is
Beirut
he-
could be Andrew Jacked, Hunter Labrada, and like be fourth. Beirut is that good.
As of today, I saw that Beirut did respond to somebody's comments, because I've been waiting for Beirut to get. He still does not have his visa. That's confirmed from him as of today.
Yep. I don't even want to put him on my list. Same thing with Nathan.
I can't.
I don't even trust Nathan.
Nathan's not doing it. He's
no,
aiming
Nathan,
for the 2025 Arnold.
Nathan's face is as round as a basketball right now, man. He's not doing the Olympia. No.
I saw in a comment he was aiming for the Arnold, if anything, but again, he still has to get that visa.
He'll go up against Crizzo then, because that's what Crizzo's aiming for.
He's never going to the Olympia.
No.
If I were Nathan, I wouldn't care either. Like, what's my ceiling? 10th, maybe 8th. What? Nathan's not getting robbed.
He could place. If he went to the Olympia, they would rob him probably. He'd get 16th.
Good. That's what he deserves.
Oh man,
No, he doesn't deserve that.
Probably lower.
Mark's big on Nathan, man. Mark's
he?
big on Nathan.
He's definitely
Yeah.
not as good as he used to be, but
I agree.
it's a different lineup too. He's getting old, but he's still good.
It's true.
He can still work. He can still provide. He can still win shows.
It's true. That's true.
He can still win shows. I
Yeah.
agree with that. He absolutely can.
They're
I
getting
do agree with that.
smaller and smaller though. The shows that he can win.
That's true. Like him getting beat by Bonac at Dubai, that doesn't spell very good things for either of their careers because they did flip flop because Nathan beat him in the Portugal and then they flipped around in Dubai.
Well, look at the fourth place that he took at the Impro behind Nexzilla, who's never going to compete again.
He beat Nexzilla.
Or no, that was no. Sorry, that was
yes, he did. Yes,
that was
right.
the Prague.
Prague, yes.
Yeah, that was the Prague. Yeah,
and Nathan looked decent there. I mean,
Nexzilla's so done. It doesn't even. It was over before it began.
And it's just so disappointing because the guy has such potential. It's so disappointing, man. I'm disappointed.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
He'll be back. I'd like to see it. I can't wait to clip my own video.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I don't know who has to get a hold of this guy to finally straighten him out, but anyway, we'll see. Gentlemen, let's call it there. Dylan, I really enjoyed having you on this one, man. I got to get you back on again for the next one.
I enjoy it.
We got to keep this going.
Some great analysis, some objective, terrific analysis that not too many people give. Like this, what is this foolishness with Nick Walker is going to be Mr. Olympia. Andrew Jack is going to win the People's Champs Award twice in 1 year because Kinson voted so many times. I don't like these predictions.
You got to be top 3 to win the People's Champion.
Is that really the rule?
Has to be.
That is the pattern.
Never been 4th. There's never been a 2nd place to win it. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Kind of.
I'm surprised Hottie didn't get it in 2020. I think if they did it retroactively, he'd get it.
How'd he get it twice?
Yeah.
Well, Hottie should also be 3-time Mr. Olympia by now. At least.
That's a debate also,
That's not a debate.
Yes, it certainly is.
It's always a debate. That's
2019,
so
2021, 2023, and of course 2022. That's 4.
It's the only sport that has always constantly debate because it's, when the 100-meter dash, it's like, well, who was faster? That guy. Okay, well, he won. End of discussion. Bodybuilding.
And we will continue that debate. We certainly will. Yes. It is always a pleasure, gentlemen. Dylan, we will certainly have you back on. Let me know when you're doing your next one too. I'll do my best to jump on there. I did. I enjoyed having you on, Mark. As always, really appreciate everybody jumping on here, Mark. It's always a fun conversation.
Mark. Pleasure as always.
We're gonna fix that. I can fix it. I know a good editor.
Man,
change back my blue. Oh, not
what?
Working.
I thought that was a bar of soap. Yeah, change it back.
Isn't that Andy from Dawn of the Dead?
What?
Kinson, you got Andy from Dawn of the Dead on here.
Yeah, man, it's really going to boost the views.
I agree.
Gentlemen, as always, thank you. We'll be chatting again soon.
Take it easy, guys.